Hello, fellow Token Titans, calling from a beautiful Austrian city, and it made me think about competitiveness between countries. So later today, I'm gonna drive to Germany, and I thought to myself, imagine how crazy it would be if German border patrol would try to seize the Bitcoin that you're traveling with. Just random thought, let's see when it happens. Anyhow, look at this beautiful place. It has clean water, clean air, great food, affordable prices, and it's 50% tax. In the past, if you wanted to live here and you lived in Serbia, Indonesia, France, it was basically impossible because you couldn't move your farm or your physical store or your job wouldn't allow you to move. Now, you can just pack your laptop and work wherever you want, and that's going to get even more with more people going digital. So, this kind of changes the whole narrative of where you live and where you choose to pay tax, because tax then becomes a service, or the place where you live becomes a choice, rather than, hey, you're born here, whatever state does to you, you just gotta suck it up and you can't move. So internet itself, your profession, allows you to be mobile. Right now, what else do you need to be mobile? You need to have money. So I'm gonna move to Dubai next year, and moving there, relatively expensive. You need to open a company and then they give you a residency. In Austria, I'm not sure how it would work if you want to have a residency, but probably if you invest enough, if you do some good for the country, they will grant you to stay here. So, in the future, if you're in a country or a city and you're like, hey, I'm paying way too much tax here, for example, in Serbia, it's one of the worst air qualities in the world. So for me and my girlfriend, it's very easy to decide to move. We say, hey, we don't want to be part of the system, we don't want to support the system, even though we pay tax, but we basically get nothing in return. So we decide to go somewhere else and spend our taxes in a different place, right? So that then will result in people being able to choose where they live, but also countries needing to be more attractive for people to go there. Because if people can choose where they want to live or choose where they want to pay tax, then they can just leave your city if you as the governor or you as the president, if you're fucking up. So there are actually two ways that can happen. So let's look at France. France is going to increase taxes again and again and again. And then people will start leaving. So France basically has two choices. One, they can say, okay, we don't allow anyone to leave. No person, no capital can leave the country. All of you guys stay here. First one. Or the second one would be that France would try to become more attractive. So they would say, hey, we kind of realize we're paying 60% tax, we're not really getting anything in return, let's lower the taxes. But that in of it of itself is really hard, because let's say France, let's take a random number, has 100 million expenses a year, and the tax income probably doesn't even cover that, so they need to take loans to pay for the operation, for the extremely inefficient operations. So France would then say, hey guys, we thought about it, we're gonna lower taxes, we're gonna halve them. So then the next year they only have 50 million, but they still have the same amount of employees, they still have the same costs, so then France would become bankrupt. You could argue, okay, hey guys, let's say if we lower the taxes, then maybe people become more productive because they own more of the outcome, but I don't know if that happens super quickly. So then France is too heavy, too bureaucratic, and they would need to make the country more efficient. So they would need to fire 50% of bureaucratic personnel. They would need to get rid of a lot of people. They would need to invent technology that kind of reduces the need of subsidizing and paying for things. So that's really hard. And let's say there's a guy running for president and he would argue exactly that. He would say, hey guys, we need to get France back on track, but we need to fire 5 million people. Nobody's ever going to vote for that guy. And any current regime that would propose that, they would get voted out of office in the next 3 to 4 years as well. So there won't be any change. And that kind of leads me to the ending point of saying it is much easier to replace a system that doesn't work with a new one, rather than trying to fix the old and broken system. In a beautiful scenario, this town at some point would approach Austria and say, hey guys, Austria is not really aligned with our vision anymore. We kind of want to separate. We want to use our own taxes to pay for the stuff here. We're gonna figure it out, and then they can set their own tax rates. People can travel from Indonesia, Serbia, whatever, and they can choose to live here. Choose to live here. Become a consumer of this beautiful place. And then at some point, if this place is not really good, let's say they charge 40% tax, but the life quality doesn't live up to what people expect, then they can just move somewhere else. And because the city then itself isn't competitive, it's gonna fail like a company. But because it's a free market, other people might, pick it up again and start running it. So that's my Saturday thought. The future is that taxpayers will become consumers. Because you are free, you can decide wherever you want to live, wherever you want to pay tax. Right now, focus on mobility, financial mobility, professional mobility, geographic mobility, owning multiple residence cards, and lastly, most importantly, cognitive mobility, being open for change and seeing things as they really are. By the way, you might wonder, why the heck does his skin look so weird? I spent too much time in an infrared cabin and now my face looks like this, so biohacking I don't recommend. Keep tracking Red Bulls. 2024, year of the token titans.